see, my faith in the days of the week has been seriously undermined. When I woke up this morning, I wasn't exactly sure what day it was, and for that brief moment, it was only a matter of seconds. I think it was seconds. I stood, or should I say I lay, on very shaky ground. After all, how could I act with assuredness? How could I rise up and plunge headlong into Friday's world if it was actually Saturday? And so, I lay there, for a moment, completely still, pondering these questions. That's when I noticed my hands. I never noticed them before, how they moved with amazing dexterity. This flexibility, this movement of hands can never extend beyond the boundaries of its own flesh, can only reach as far as the fingertips and no further, much as the movement of time is restricted by the days of the week. And so I got up and tried to erase these things from my mind. I tried to get dressed, but then I began to understand other things. For example, shoes. They were little prisons for my feet, absolute definitions of space. I could run 1,000,000 miles in them in any direction and still not escape them. And my hat, forming a firm idea around my head as if to say, well, that's about the size of it. My mind could expand into infinite space and still never change the shape of my head. I saw in the mirror a condemned man serving a life sentence inside his own body. Even the car I drove to work, my car, this thing, this instrument of liberation, it wasn't freedom, it was merely the ideal of freedom, bound in metal, a kind of boat with a speed limit attached to it. Now, I was driving an unknown route along a familiar road. It led in exactly the direction I was going, but not by coincidence. The asphalt was not laying itself a path in front of me. I was simply following a prearranged course. And then something happened. Something that had never happened before. When I arrived in town at my usual space, it was taken. I was late for work, you see. There was another car in my space. Someone had taken my space, you see. I didn't know where to go, so I just sat there for a moment, staring straight ahead. And then I put my car into gear and drove into it. Drove right into it. There didn't seem to be any other choice, no place else to go, you see. And then I put my car in reverse, backed up, and rammed into it. And then again, and again, and again, until finally, this other car, this intruder of my space, was smashed up against the side of the building like an accordion. So now, I have my space back. I got out of the car, and I turned to head for my office. That's when I realized this wasn't my space at all. Somehow I had gotten completely turned around. I didn't know where I was. I hadn't any idea. I'd always depended on the road which led there. The way I've always believed that one thing leads to another. But then I saw this building. I thought I'd come here to get a better perspective on my exact situation, and from here, the view was quite clear. There are no spaces left, you see. I have no place to park my car.
Have you tried the bay?
Don't you understand?
Oh, of course I understand. You didn't need to make such a long speech. When you're 100 years old, you'll understand everything. And then you'll die.
Why wait?
Something interesting might happen. Then again, it might not. I think you should jump now.
You do?
That's what you want to do, I think you should do it.
There really is no reason to live, is there?
Not really.
It's sort of disappointing. I wonder where they'll tow my car.
remember?
What?
That story! Some years ago, I went to Paris to see the Mona Lisa. It's in the Louvre, the largest building in the world, probably, but the Mona Lisa, as it turns out, is very small. So naturally I couldn't find it. I kept looking for something big. And then I saw a crowd of people all standing around looking disappointed. And there she was, smiling, as if she knew.
That's it? That's the whole story?
You sure do like a long story, don't you? Let's see. There's a young Frenchman standing next to me in a terrible state of despair. He began talking to me as if he'd known me his whole life. I didn't understand a word he was saying, but he didn't seem to take any notice. He began telling me a long and involved story, often punctuating words with his fists. Occasionally, he would sink into a sadness the likes of which I've never seen. And then he would start raving again. The further we walked, the more distressed he became, the more enraged. By the time we reached Pont Neuf, he was sobbing uncontrollably. It seemed very clear to me that he wanted me to say something. By the time we were halfway across the bridge, he was already climbing over the edge. I didn't know what to say, so I blurted out the only thing in French I'd ever learned. La pamplemousse sur la table. I don't even know what it means, but he responded very positively. In fact, he was delighted. Whatever it was I said, it seemed to be something for him to hang his hat on. He thought about it for a moment, and then smiled. And he walked away, determined to live the rest of his life by this new philosophy.
It doesn't mean anything.
Oh, it must mean something. I learned it in school.
The grapefruit is on the table.
Oh, is that what that means? Well, that's not a bad philosophy to live by. As philosophies go, it has a certain preciseness.
How have you managed to stay alive so long?
Forget.
Shut up in your room like that? Never going out?
Well, there's other places to go besides out. There's in. There's around, under, over, between.
Down?
Well, you might go down. But you might go up. If you're going to go to all the trouble of jumping, you might as well try going up and see what happens. Albert went up. Straight up.
Albert was a pigeon.
Oh, he didn't know that. Not for sure anyway. He'd never flown a day in his whole life. Not until the day we let him go. You could be the first of a kind. Imagine what a story that would make. You would be interviewed by every newspaper in the world. You'd travel around giving lectures. You'd be an inspiration to others. There'd be people flying around all over the place. That sort of thing has to start somewhere. It might as well start with you. The principle is very simple. You just let go and let the wind currents do the rest. You know about airflow, don't you?
I really don't think.
No, don't think. The point is to just let go and let the wind take you away. Let it take you where it wants. Don't try to go anyplace specific the first time. Just once around the building and then come back. Once you get a better feel for it, then you can go further.
Stop. This is the police.
Go.
I don't know what to do. I can't fly.
Stay calm and don't move.
Don't listen to them. They just want to put the world in order. They don't want people flying around all over the place. They have to make up a bunch of new regulations.
Stop.
Bullshit. Just go.
Are you sure?
Just up and away.
Just like that.
Go.
I'm supposed to stay right where I am.
Sir, stay calm and think about what you're doing.
Go.
All right, I'm going.
Then go.
Sir, stop. Sir, please just think about it.
Goodbye. Hello?
Yes?
The old lady. I'd like to speak to her. I have to tell her about something quite incredible.
Yeah? She's gone.
Gone. But she was here just a few minutes ago.
Yeah? That's how it always happens. What's this something incredible? I really want to know.
It's nothing.
Suppose you want to come inside now.
I'm fine just where I am.
You can't stay perched out there forever.
Why not?
Abnormal behavior.
Not for a pigeon.
You're not a pigeon!
Yes, I know that. Now. But for a moment, for a brief moment, I didn't know. And the world carried me out and took me along for a ride. And I forgot my own story. And I flew on the wings of someone else's.
Stop! This is the police.
I have to forget. Try to forget everything that ever has happened, everything that ever will happen, and just wait for the wind again. And do nothing. Nothing. And wait. Just